Wednesday, the 25th of January 2023, and today we're going to walk from Balloch to Dumbarton. It's about 7 miles, it should take us a couple of hours. We're going to walk along the banks of the River Leven. It's quite a famous river for fishing, Salmon River. Salmon season due to open next month. We'll have a look at some of the best runs in some of the pools. It's also very busy in the summer for the boats, the boating, and we'll walk along the path, the cycle path, which is part of the NCR. I think it's Route 7. There's been a lot of rain this last wee while, and the river's high. So the river runs and it comes out at the estuary in the Dumbarton Castle. These boats belong to the anglers in the River Leven District Angling Club, and their main form of fishing will be trawling the loch, which is a method where they have two rods, one out the port and starboard side and rods out the back, which are called pokers. They're all fishing with baits that are fished at different lengths and different depths. That's the barrage of the weir, the gates that controls the level of the loch. When the loch's running low, they'll put the gates up and shut them, keep the water in the loch. On the loch side they open them. In the summer you get compensation water to keep the level of the river up, to allow the fish to run and the anglers to get water. There you are, the barrage. This is quite popular in the summer during the season. Generally this is fished by the bait fishers, and it can be quite successful. The fish will sit here at times waiting to run up the loch. Just over there is another pool, that's the Dumbarton, which is also quite in demand during the season. There's a pool there and the fish will sit in that as well. There you are, 5 miles to Dumbarton. And this is us on the cycle track. Again, this stretch here is normally fished by either anglers that are spinning or worming, and it can be quite productive. It produces good fish during the season. This we're in there down to the bridge. Black Bridge is another popular point for the anglers. You get your bait over at the far side and let it come round, and the fish will run up the far side, and if you're fortunate enough you might hit into one. When the water's low, if you want to wade, you could wade in there. If you're going to fish by fly, again you're looking to get your fly over at the far side, and you can fish down to the next section, which is called the double pipes. Again, here in the summer this gets really low and you can walk out there. It's maybe kind of ankle depth. You could use a single hand at this time fishing over to the far bank, but this is a run that takes you into the double pipes. That's as I was looking down the run, again into the double pipes. There it's marked on the wall, number 33, the double pipes. Again here this stretch can be fished for the bank, spinning or worming. You can also fish it for the bank with the flyer rod if your casting's good enough. It does get a bit overgrown in the summer. Here we are, this is the start of the Craft stream. When the water's low in summer, you can wade out quite a wee bit and fish over to the far side. I've fished it with a wee check nymph and you'll get good wee brownies. But that's the start of the Craft stream, and that runs into the Lynn Brown pool, which is again very, very popular, and it holds a lot of fish. Again, this is a good run for the fly when the water's lower, a lot lower, but sometimes you're competing with the anglers who are choosing to spin, and sometimes the etiquette's not what it should be, you need to come out. That's the start of the Lynn Brown pool. It's quite wide, and again you can fish it with the fly in low water, just to about here, and then you would need to come out. There's a big hole just over there which holds a lot of fish, and again it's generally fished by the guys that want to spin or the guys that want to worm. That's us looking up the Craft stream, getting into the Lynn Brown hole. That's us walking down to the Chapel hole. Again, this is generally fished with the guys that are doing the bait or the spinning. Just a small stretch, but again it holds good fish when the fish are running. And then just by that, as we call the factory wall, that's a good run. Again, it'll produce fish, and the reason it's called the factory wall is because there used to be a factory there many years ago. We'll have a look at that as we get closer to it. There we are, I hope you can see that, that's a sign for the chapel hole. That's us, that's the beginning of the factory wall. There's steps, that might be a set of steps, it's, you can't see for the level of the height of the leaving. So you can go in there. Again, when it's low, there's rocks over there, so you're trying to get your fly over there. The fish will run up the far side, and there's a pipe in the wall you can't see because of the height of the leaving, and they reckon that if it's half up the pipe, that's a good level. There's a set of steps there for getting in. There you are, that's the end of the factory wall. This is now the run into the Balloch Bridge pool. This is the only stretch in the system that's fly only, and I'll show you the marker where it's fly only, and I'll show you where it ends. The Balloch pool, it's a good holding pool, very, very good holding pool. The best pool in the system. And a lot of people who worm or spin want to fish it, and I've yet they've not been allowed. Yeah, that's us just approaching the Balloch pool. And if camera's picking up, it tells you 4 onwards. Downstream it's fly only. There you are, if you're fishing down to the pool, you generally come out about here. And there's a gauge board over there, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And one of the local anglers puts the water height on a daily basis. So here's the Balloch pool. Again, at the height of season when the fish are running. Sometimes you've got to queue to get in here. Again, it's a matter of preference. If you fish it when the water's big or the water's low, sometimes you can see the fish sitting, and they can sit for long enough, they'll not touch a fly. Now, as I say, there's not supposed to be any bait or spinning in here, but people have been naughty and have done it. and you would generally go in just about here. There you are, once you've fished the pool, you would come out here, there's a pipe here, and that's about as far as you would go. I mean, you can cross the pipe and then fish down the glebe. This is the next stretch, the glebe, but this is where the fly only rule ends. There you are, this stretch is called the glebe, and this you would start here when you can get in. Again, there's a gauge over there to tell you the depth of the water, and there's a wee feeder burn comes in there. You can fish this both sides. You can park the other side and get in just further down a wee bit, or you can get in this side and you would fish down maybe to where the trees are coming up further down. So again, it's a good stretch, it produces fish, it's a good run, and it's a favourite run for the fly fishermen. This is nearly the tail end of the glebe. You can get in just over there. I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera. There's a wee path there just at where the church is. You get in there and you fish it down to the bend. And if you're fishing it for this side, you would come out maybe just about 20 yards down. There you are, that's the run into the piles. You can't fish it for the right hand side, but you can fish down the beginning of the trees for the other side. Well, this is the piles. You can't get a good look at the pool because of the height of the water. But there's an old pipe, I don't know if you can just see the top of it over there. That's where the pool is. And you would fish it from up there. Again, try to get your fly over to the far bank. And it is a good holding pool. In the summer sometimes it's difficult to get in here because people come down, put the worm in, and they'll no move. And then you're generally just coming out just down there. I'm not so familiar with down here. That's usually the stretches I fish, but this is us getting on to the renting run. This bit, I believe, is quite a good wee stretch as well, and can produce good fish when they're running in the season. You're generally about April, May before you start the big springers, and you will get good springers in this system. A lot of folk moan, but sometimes there's not enough people fishing it, and if you're not fishing it, the fish will not come off. But there are big fish come off it. Even up the loch, you're getting fish at 20, 25 plus. Some people trawling the loch have had big fish, fresh fish. So they're going through. Sometimes they're going through at rate of knots, but they are there. So this is a renting run. Usually we have fish that'll come out about here, because it starts to deepen up, and I saw folk fishing for the bank with tobies or whatever, or the worm. So that's a renting run. Area there, the official name for it, Harry Flowers. I think that's more commonly called the Flowers, so maybe it's not the renting run. I fished down here quite a bit last year. As I said, I wasn't too sure on the names of the pools and the runs. But again, when the water's low, you can get in here. It's called the burn there, it's there. And I've never done it, but I saw anglers doing it when the water's low. Get in here and walking over to the other side and fishing over to this side, because it deepens up as we go further downstream. And they can walk down so far and then they can cross it again. I've never done it, as I said, I saw anglers doing it. Obviously they would need to know the runs and where to put their feet. So this is a stretch that I've never fished. So as I said earlier on, I saw anglers getting themselves out to the far bank and wading down, and then fishing or fly over to this bank, and then there's a pool further down. I'll show you that, and coming out just above the pool. That's just over 2 miles for the barrage, according to my wee map, my walk app. That's us almost approached the next pool. I can't remember the name of it just now. But this is where you would cross back over just up there, and you get yourself onto this side and down and out. I mean, it's maybe not the best time to film it with the water being so high, but that would be a run that you would fish when the water was certainly a lot lower, maybe even at summer height. Richie's Lade, that was the name I was looking for. This is Richie's Lade. So you'd have been fishing down into Richie's Lade. As you can see, the water's high and it's fast, but that's just after all the rain that we've had. And then we'll go down to the hairpin. I fished down here a few times last year. It's nice and pleasant. Didn't catch anything. Didn't really know much about it, but it was nice. It was good water. It gets very, very slack for the fly, so you're limited how far you can fish it with the fly. There you are. There's a stretch here called the kennels, because there's kennels back there, and again it's quite a famous stretch on the river. I don't know much about catch returns, but sometimes you hear throughout the river that there's fish come off at the renting, and then they'll tell you what stretch. So that was the kennels that we've just passed. So when I fished it, I went in just up there and fished it down to this bit here, and I came out because it started to get quite deep, and that was at summer level. In the summer when the water's low, this is all very, very low. Some of it is even dry, so you can work out, wade out, and you can fish maybe about 20-30 yards above that tree, and up and down and all the way around. I don't know if you can see the life buoy there caught in the trees. It's fast just now, but it slows up in the height of summer. I think there's another one over there, and there's another one up there. I don't know if you remember a couple of summers ago, there was a number of fatalities up the loch, and there's a bit of an outcry about what's the park authority doing about it, about safety and the rest of it. And there's a lot of life buoys been taught about the system up the loch and on the river. And you always get the bright sparks and think it's a good idea to throw them in the water. You never know who's going to need them and when. Again, this is a good stretch here. When the water drops, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but you can see it's quite shallow there, even though in this height of water. You can fish out into the pool over at the bend, and that holds good fish, and you can fish it all the way around. Just at the end of the path, I generally come out there. There were a couple of good fish taken out of here last year, double figure fish. But again, at times you're competing with the guys that are spinning or bait fishing. It's quite sandy, it's good wading. Again, I'm not too sure about this stretch, but again it's popular with the guys that are spinning and the guys that are worming. I think it's May before you can worm in this system. So the beginning of the system is fly only. You can't take a fish, I think, to the beginning of May either. And you're generally, when you renew your ticket, your permit, you're issued with 3 tags. So I think we're category 2 this year. So you can take a maximum of 3 fish if you're lucky enough to catch 3. So that's the kennels just in front of us I was talking about earlier on. There you are, according to my wee map, my walk app, that's now 3 miles. Now that's a good run that I'm going into. I fished it a wee bit last year on the left bank. Further down there's a bridge down there called the Polaroid Bridge. And it's a good run again for sea trout as well as salmon. So I'll show you a wee bit more about it when we get down there. There you are, this must be the street run, the beginning of it. Big heron, spooked. And you're fishing downstream. I'll show you where you're coming out later on. Again, it's good, it's a popular run, particularly with the rent anglers, locals. There you are, that's a bit there, you can either get in or come out. So that's maybe about 70-80 yards. I run. And there's another bit there. You can either get in or come out. It's a good run, popular run. There's another bit you can get out or in. Same across the other side. I've only fished it for across there. There you are, that's the Polaroid Bridge. As far as I'm aware, that's the end of the good fishing, fly fishing for this side. You would go across the bridge and go in just over there. Or there's another wee bit just there if you can see it, that would take you in. Again, the water will be a lot lower. And it will take you down quite a wee bit. A couple of years ago again, there was farm fish escaped. And they were catching them in their dozen down this stretch. There's another life buoy, that's about 4. So, again, I'm not too sure about the fishing over that side. I've no fished down here, just up where I showed you. And again, it takes you down and goes round another hairpin. At the other side there's a pool. It used to be called the boat pool because there was a boat there years ago. I don't know where the boats went, but it's not there anymore. So as I said, I don't know what the fishing's like here. Well, I never knew that was what this was called, the Dumbarton Lade. So we've got Richie's Lade further up in this one. It's news to me. There used to be a wee business park in there called Dumbarton. I think it's all been demolished and it's new houses. So maybe that's what this lade's named after. I think today is shown up. Although the water's high, it's scenic and it's lovely. It's busy. It skirts Balloch, the Vale, Bon Hill, the Renton. You got a lot of locals walking up and down the cycle track. You also get bits on it, it's quite secluded. And if you're looking for that seclusion, peace and quiet, we can certainly offer it. McKinnon's. I think that's where the dye works used to be many years ago. And I think that continues to be contaminated land. I may be wrong. It may be further up the river. But there used to be a dye works down here many years ago. And because of the chemicals, etc., the land's contaminated. So we're just going round to the stretch where the boat pool used to be. I see there was a boat there as well. I don't know where the boat's gone. I think we're just about finished the fishing just now till we get into Dumbarton. I think we're only just a couple of hundred yards for the gate that takes us into Dumbarton. We'll show you some of the fishing spots down there. That's 4 miles I've walked, and it's taken me an hour and 35. So I've certainly not broke any speed records. And this is us getting into the field. We're just leaving the renting. There you are. I said when we started it was 7 mile, the river. But I said 5 mile to Dumbarton. When I cycle it's 7 mile from my house to Balloch. And we'll leave the river just at Dumbarton High Street. We'll now go walk it down to the estuary. There you are, some more wall art. Hope the camera's picking that up. It's lovely. Wee kingfisher there. A hermit, salmon, an angler, and a cyclist. Lovely. Again, there's not much fishing down here. There's not much you can see as well with the height of the water. But there are parts that you can fish. It shows you on the map. There's 2 maps on the LLAIA website. The upper and the lower Leven. And they give you an indication of where the pools are and the runs. That's us almost at the end of the fishing bits. You've got 2 bridges, 3 bridges. The railway bridge, the new bridge and the old bridge. I've saw people fishing on the Leven Grove side park when the water's low, spinning into the fast water. And again, that's fine as long as you've got a permit. I've never seen anybody catching anything, but I have seen people fishing there. But you can see just how high the river is. It will take a wee while to run off. Very slow here, right enough, but very high. That's the beginning of Dumbarton, the ancient capital of Strathclyde, and the old bridge. That's the Leven running down to the estuary, just at the castle. You can see a castle there in the distance. Again, the water's high. As I said earlier on, there are people for the right hand side who'll fish it when the water's low. It's quite rocky. So that's it, that's Dumbarton, that's our walk.